Hello and welcome to Brain Bites. Today we're opening up a case file that honestly completely shocked an entire nation. We're going to walk step by step through the ultimate investigative chronology of the year 2000 cricket match fixing scandal, focusing specifically on the allegations surrounding Kapil Dev. We will be examining the facts, the timelines, and the ultimate findings of this massive investigation, and we're going to do it completely objectively.
Now, to really grasp the sheer magnitude of this explainer, you've got to consider the massive contrast here. On one side, we have the undisputed hero of 1983, the man who brought India its very first World Cup. He was elevated to this godlike status. Literally every child wanted to be him. But look at the flip side. Fast forward 17 years and the unthinkable happens. The exact same hero's house is being raided by income tax officers, his name is tangled up in a massive match-fixing scandal, and his chapters are literally being removed from school textbooks in Gujarat because of the public outrage. So how exactly did we get from point A to point B?
Section 1. From Hero to Suspect. The Early Anomalies.
Okay, so the seeds of doubt didn't just pop up overnight. Let's rewind a bit and trace the chronology. Following the incredible high of 1983, fans actually started noticing some pretty strange tactical decisions. Take the 1987 World Cup semifinal against England, for example. India was the favorite, yet strangely, English batsman Graham Gooch kept hitting sweep shots to one specific side of the field, and bizarrely, no fielders were ever placed there to stop him. Even Gooch himself admitted in the post-match press conference that he was totally surprised by the lack of fielders. It definitely raised eyebrows at the time, but it was eventually brushed aside. That is, until 1991.
Consider this highly specific, frankly pivotal match. India was chasing 258 against Pakistan and was in a really strong position. Then suddenly, Kapil Dev and Azharuddin both get out for ducks, back-to-back. Now the match had started late and natural light was fading incredibly fast. Commentator Harsh Bangal even noted on air that he had literally never seen a match played in such terrible visibility. By the rules, India could have walked off due to bad light and won comfortably on a revised calculation. Players like Manoj Prabhakar were pushing to walk off. Instead, they were inexplicably instructed to keep playing against fast bowlers in the pitch dark. The result? India lost the match by 4 runs.
Section 2. Early Doubts and Unexplained Gifts. The Off-Field Mysteries.
So the on-field decisions were baffling, right? But the off-field mysteries? That's what really caught the authorities' attention. What's super interesting here is the sudden appearance of a luxury BMW. During a time when top cricketers were making roughly 14,000 rupees for a test match, Kapil Dev was suddenly seen driving this incredibly expensive vehicle. When he was questioned about it, he claimed it was a gift from a man named Ibrahim from South Africa in exchange for a modeling assignment. The problem with that? Well, no photos, no contracts, absolutely zero proof of this modeling gig ever surfaced for the public to see.
Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the whispers were getting seriously loud. Listen to this. In May 1995, a Supreme Court lawyer named V.K. Ahori happened to overhear a police interrogation of a bookie in Mumbai. The bookie explicitly claimed that during the disastrous 1994 New Zealand tour, a betting syndicate made 16 crore rupees, largely with Kapil Dev's help. He claimed they paid Kapil 1 crore in cash plus 25 lakhs disguised through a fake modeling assignment. Ahori actually filed a sworn affidavit to Outlook magazine backing up exactly what he heard. Alright, fast forward to October 1999. Kapil Dev is now the national coach. In his very first test match in charge, India scores a massive 583 runs, and New Zealand is bowled out for just 308. Basic cricket logic, and honestly even the selectors, demanded India enforce the follow-on. But inexplicably, Kapil declared that India would bat again. The match ended in a draw. But the most chilling part of all this? Investigators later found out that bookies actually knew India would not enforce the follow-on a full day before the decision was made on the pitch.
And that brings us to this absolutely staggering number found during a routine income tax raid on a businessman named Ramnik Chawla. Officers found a diary with the initials KD right next to 1.33 crore rupees. When pressed by authorities, Chawla claimed it belonged to the ex-cricketer Kapil Dev. Now, while some of this was documented through checks, an unexplained 83 lakh rupees was listed purely as cash. Kapil completely denied the cash portion. Yet, curiously, he never filed a defamation case against Chawla for making that massive claim.
Section 3. The 25 lakh allegation. The whistleblower emerges.
We've seen the circumstantial anomalies really building up, but the entire landscape shattered when a whistleblower stepped forward. In 1997, Manoj Prabhakar gave an explosive interview, claiming a senior teammate offered him 25 lakh rupees to throw a match against Pakistan during the 1994 Singer Cup. This revelation sent absolute shockwaves across the nation. Emergency BCCI meetings were held and fans were literally protesting in the streets. But because Prabhakar was receiving death threats, he initially refused to reveal the name of this senior player.
The layout of the alleged crime scene makes this whole thing even more baffling. Prabhakar claimed the bribe happened in a hotel room right in front of key witnesses. Navjot Singh Sidhu was his roommate. Next door, connected by a common door, were Prashant Vaidya, Nayan Mongia, and a journalist named Satyasin Mehra. Yet, when the BCCI initially set up an inquiry in 1997, every single one of these players suffered from sudden amnesia. Nobody, and I mean nobody, corroborated Prabhakar's story.
Fast forward to the year 2000, the Hansi Kranjay scandal broke globally, and the Indian government finally handed this huge mess over to the CBI. Brought in for questioning, Manoj Prabhakar finally dropped the bombshell on the official record. He named Kapil Dev as the man who walked into his room and offered him the 25 lakh rupee bribe. The CBI immediately sought out the witnesses, but officially, they still claimed they couldn't remember a thing.
Section 4. The Secret Sting Operation. Hidden cameras reveal the truth. Quick pause here. If you're enjoying this explainer or learning something valuable so far, please take a moment to like it. Your support helps BrainBytes reach more people with informative content just like this.
So faced with this total wall of silence, investigative journalists basically said, all right, we'll do it ourselves. Aniruddha Bahal and Tarun Tejpal from Tehelka equipped Manoj Prabhakar with a hidden camera to go confront the very players who were denying his story to the CBI. And wow, the contrast was staggering. Officially, the players knew absolutely nothing, but casually, in what they thought were entirely private conversations, the truth spilled out.
This sting operation was broadcast nationwide, and it changed everything. Bishan Singh Bedi was caught on tape stating outright that Kapil gave the offer. Former manager Ajit Wadekar admitted he couldn't speak out because Kapil was heavily protected by BCCI power brokers. Navjot Singh Sidhu, the same guy who claimed amnesia to the CBI, admitted on tape that Kapil had done him many favors, heavily implying his silence was bought with loyalty. Even Sports Minister Sukhdev Singh Dinza admitted on tape that political pressure had initially suppressed releasing the players' names. No way, right?
Section 5. Raids and Missing Evidence. Operation Gentleman.
Once the sting operation aired, the public outrage was so intense, the government literally had no choice but to act. Under immense pressure, authorities launched Operation Gentleman in July 2000. Income tax officers, the CBI, and local police coordinated massive, sweeping raids across 90 different locations tied to players, bookies, and BCCI officials. At the very top of that list was Kapil Dev. His homes, his offices, and his hotel rooms were raided for 38 straight hours.
Now, the CBI was looking for direct, undeniable financial links to match fixing. But what they found was basically a web of untraceable ghosts. Kapil possessed 100 acres of heavily undervalued land, but the seller, a guy named Keval Joshi, completely vanished without a trace. The man who supposedly gifted the BMW, Ibrahim, could not be found anywhere in South Africa. And then there were these highly lucrative stadium advertising rights that Kapil bypassed, handing them instead to a company co-owned by a businessman named Hiran Hathi.
And here's where it gets even more interesting. Hiran Hathi's name had been repeatedly linked to bookies in the media. The CBI discovered that exactly during the highly suspicious 1999 Ahmedabad match, yes, the very same match where Kapil inexplicably refused to enforce the follow-on, Hathi suddenly purchased 3 apartments and 3 Opel cars. The timing was incredibly suspicious, right? But again, could it be directly legally tied to Kapil Dev throwing a match?
Section 6. The Final CBI Verdict. The Legal Burden of Proof.
Which brings us to the ultimate conclusion of this massive investigation. I want you to really think about this question. We've seen bad light matches, explosive hidden camera confessions, missing modeling gigs, untraceable land sellers, and a diary with 1.33 crore rupees. It is an absolute mountain of circumstantial smoke. But does smoke always, legally speaking, prove there is a fire?
On October 30th, 2000, the CBI submitted its final report. Players like Azharuddin, Jadeja, and ironically, even the whistleblower Prabhakar were found guilty and faced heavy bans.
As for Kapil Dev, the CBI noted the highly suspicious financial activities. They acknowledged the indirect links and the truly bizarre anomalies. However, their legal mandate required undeniable, direct proof of match fixing, because literally every lead ended with an untraceable person or a cash transaction that couldn't be definitively tied to a specific thrown match. The CBI had to issue Kapil Dev a clean shit.
So, Kapil Dev was legally cleared of all match-fixing charges. But the sheer volume of suspicious activity detailed in those CBI files left a permanent mark. Fans who once viewed their cricket players as infallible gods were forced to wake up to the murky realities of the sport. The innocence of the game was basically gone forever. If you found this explainer insightful, don't forget to like, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to Brain Bites for more powerful insights, knowledge-packed explainers, and thought-provoking content. I'll leave you with this one thought. When the legal system clears a hero, but the shadow of a doubt remains, how should